aluminum and steel. Good. So what's a stupid candidate going to do? They're going to do the same thing. All the steel and aluminum coming from America into Canada is going to have 25%. It'll accomplish nothing. Much of what he says is very good, and I agree with him, but some of it is said in very questionable ways that I don't understand.
Can I say something?
Wait, hold on. Before you do, I wanna welcome Max, my campaign manager for the conquest of the 16th Congressional District. All hail Max. Welcome, Max.
Thank you. We're gonna win this thing.
Maximilian, hail Max.
Hey Don. But yeah, John's gonna win this thing. He's gonna be a congressperson. Like that's why. Like yeah, sorry to butt in, but like we're really honored to be here. John's a veteran. He's someone that understands business, entrepreneur. He's like strong, well spoken, and the guy he's running against is total rhino, total rhino, like loser, sellout. And I'm kind of suspicious because he's on the CCP council, John, but like he kind of is against China, but like I feel like one has to be bought up by foreign countries, so we should look into that. But the things that just like kind of anger me is I'm someone that's not vaccinated, and he was one of the biggest guys. He's a Republican, but was praising Biden for getting him the vaccines. So the vaccines was all the only way through. He was saying that like he literally said that like he represents a rural part that goes all the way from central Illinois to northern, and he's like, oh, it's just so sad that all these people don't understand the science and I believe in conspiracy theories. It's just really sad. We got to get our vaccination rates up, and that's a big fucking F you, in my opinion. He said that he says that we should raise the gun age from 18 to 21. He's like a big immigration hawk because he's racist, but he says that we should allegedly racist. I just feel like that generation. But anyways, we should what's it called? We should have 100% more immigrants. So he's definitely like just into that big business, like cheap anti-American labor thing. He said that like it was Trump's fault for January 6th, that his rhetoric was so dangerous, it's his responsibility. But then now he's like sucking up to Trump. And like I'm someone that personally is pro-Trump. I believe John the same way. But I respect someone that's consistently anti-Trump than someone that just sucks up for power. And this is a guy whose dad, Ray LaHood, was one of the guys on the Republicans for Kamala Harris, which is one of the most biggest, pussy positions out there. Like, you don't have to vote for Trump, but if you voted for Kamala Harris or was like a proud Kamala Harris supporter, like it's pretty hard to respect that opinion. I feel bad. I don't want to be like mean, and I don't think there were that many out there. But that was Darren's dad, who worked for the Obama administration and was a Republican. But then, Darren's just a guy that went from being a Cook County state's attorney, that's not sketchy, to the state house, which is such a sketchy area. That's where Obama came up from, and then has been a congressperson, chameleon ever since. And is
but you're talking a decade ago worth of information. That was 6 years after I got out of the military after being in Iraq. Like, the thing is that when you're talking about, so I think it was The Five I was watching the other night, or the other morning, the five guys that are on Fox, and they sit around a table and they talk. And some of I don't remember who it was, said the Democrats have screwed up because at this point it's an 80-20 issue. It's like a situation. When Trump takes the 80% side of abortion, and then the Democrats take the 20% side of people that back what they do, and then anything within the economy, healthcare, it's an 80-20 issue, and it seems like the Democrats always keep taking up the 20% side of things, but they're to no avail over the American, republic, being able to hire its representatives.
So Don, I hate to butt in there, but that's not relevant to Congressman Kitover. Not only because Congressman Kitover is only running in a primary. It's his district, because Illinois is gerrymandering. His district is 70% Republican for the 16th district.
Well, I mean, I would literally go and hold, signs, saying Kitover for president,
Let's go, Congress.
2032.
Eventually, Congress is the way there, and yeah, he'd only be running in a primary. So like, I know like we gotta pretend like, cause
I'm pretty sure. No, I don't need to pretend. I know John very well on a very personal level for years. The only reason I'm on this app is because of this fool tard.
Oh, no, Don. I meant like pretend like because to win like president, you have to convince independents and Democrats to vote a certain way.
If you get people like me that have actually, fought and bled for our country on a battlefield, regardless of the fact that I'm a fucking drunk and an alcoholic, that's because the VA were shit and they ain't taking care of us vets right. I can go down that pipeline for you. But Mr. John Kitover, he's got my vote.
Same here. Well said, Don.
Yeah.
Well said, Don. Really well said. And like, thank you for your service. I'm sorry about that. The VA is a disgrace. I mean, he probably has his dirty paws all over the VA. What's the name? LaHood. John. You should look into that, Congressman Kitover.
Dude, they did not need. I got out of Iraq in 2009. I left the army in 2010. I got shot and I got blown up. I had TBI and my left arm was kind of fucked. And they just let me finish out my term. I got out, blah, blah, blah. I put in before I got out with PTSD because I was a combat medic in Iraq for 16 months. And I held a bunch of people while they died trying to fix them. And then sometimes I couldn't, and sometimes I could. Sometimes I could call in a helicopter and a 9-line and, get them pushed to another level of care above me. Sometimes I was good, sometimes, it didn't work out. But apparently, I didn't have PTSD. Even though I've been shot, blown up, and I have hair whisk under fire bowel wounds. I was a combat medic with 2nd Cap. My name is Brian Sark.
That's awesome. And we're
it's easy. OF 7 through 9.
And Brian and I know each other because I was reading Toira on YouTube, and then chatting.
It was meditation. It was meditations. Oh, you did start with Torah, and then it moved to meditations on Instagram. Yeah, that was right when Mom was dying, and I was like trying to like calm down, and I found, John on Instagram, and he was reading, and I was just trying to like meditate and listen to this guy, and that's kind of how I ended up knowing John. Like in 21 when Mom was passing away.
Wow, that's crazy how the internet works.
So Max and I this Wednesday are creating shorts to attack the current rhino sitting in the Sahara, just waiting to be obliterated, and a true MAGA Trump Republican to sweep in and fight with resistance powers, Governor Pritzker, Mayor Brandon Johnson, and all the other socialist communist terrorists that are bankrupting the state and contributing to the downfall of America.
I just texted you, John, I think that also people need to hear what Trump is saying. Like, President Trump is doing so many great things, and the media is manipulating it. And I might want to start reading his press releases. I get them. And I think that's the whole point of press releases. It's supposed to get out there. And it's really sad how people like manipulate, fearmonger, like just blatantly make stuff up.
It's just an understanding of the state of affairs.
Yeah, they have so much to lose. Already cut so much.
What Max is saying is that the Republicans in the Chicagoland area that have leadership positions, they don't retransmit Trump because they don't support Trump, and they never supported Trump, and they're just a bunch of fake ass Republicans, just Democrats sitting, and they don't even wear MAGA hats. They did nothing for Trump, nothing. They held no real expressive rallies. The fact that they even had Tom Homan here was a miracle.
As a fucking sale.
Yeah, they didn't start supporting Trump until January 14th. Until they went to D.C. went to the inauguration party and probably go on Grindr all day. But, I was actually talking about that this morning, John, is that the 3 candidates that the owner Republican Party actually gave money to were Democrats. Like one said he might vote for. He didn't say he would vote for Trump. He said he was just thinking about it. Trump and Biden. How the hell could you be thinking about it if you're the Republican nominee? Like what a joke. And I mean, as I said earlier, I don't even understand thinking about it in general. But if you're the Illinois Republican Party is going to support the one guy, all three people were pro-gun control, pro-abortion, and just wouldn't say Trump. They just wouldn't say it. Even though he's the most popular Republican in 100, 200 years. Because Lincoln wasn't even that popular.
Dude, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what year. We're alive. They ain't.
True.
Figure out what the fuck is going on now.
100%.
Why are you worried about shit? Dude, I grew up, I was born in 75. I didn't join the Army until I was 30 in 2006. But before 2006, there was no racist bullshit. Football teams, baseball teams, none of this other. I got out of Iraq, got out of the military in 2010, around 2012 when I went to university. Everybody's like, we need reparations. I'm like, what the fuck are y'all talking about? I'm you're the children of my peers. Why are you telling me that I owe you shit?
Okay, so Shlomo, how was your Shabbos? You said you were going to discuss the Shekhinah on Shabbos with your congregation. What did you guys talk about?
Once again, it's just you and I. Dude, John, straight up, dude. I'm sorry, I'll shut up. That's what I do. I want to know what the rabbi has to say.
A rabbi is here. Welcome's in a minute. Chris, I was dying laughing watching How to Waste Your Time on YouTube. You captured that deep state room. I was like, oh, this is beautiful. I was like, you know what? This is like an actual YouTube. And you know what I did is I sped it up to 1.5 times the speed so I could cut it in half. Listening to stuff sped up really does save you time. It's unbelievable. It could save you half of the time, quarter of the time.
Dude, there's so much bullshit that people add into conversations. Yes.
Yeah. A lot of useless fucking words. It's like writing an essay and then your professor tears it apart.
I had somebody really smart one time tell me that the more we talk, the further away from the truth we get.
Yeah, that's exactly what's happening. That's why I say the deep state is really, it's funny because it's go within the deep state. The deep state is technically the hidden garden or valley of delight in the tree of life. And I think a lot of the people just are not in that vibration, and they think that Trump and Musk are the antithesis of the light, when the truth is they are the antithesis of the light. Because if you believe in manifestation, technically Trump aligned with the deep state of mind, and that's why he won. He didn't let Kamala, he didn't let Joe Biden in the deep state, who tried to foil him, to destroy him, to kill him, assassinate him. He kept going within. And now is the rectification that they can't stand. But the truth is they're complaining about fraud, waste, and abuse. And, they wanted the fraud, waste, and abuse. They wanted USA to dump out $600 billion year after year and literally use the money. Did you see Soros got $150 million?
600 billion? Dude, you think it's only 600 billion? That's a sad word.
Yeah. Anyways, great things are happening every hour, every day.
Soros getting money. What did he get?
$150
$20 million?
million.
150. I thought it was 20. 150.
Yeah, that's what I saw.
What the?
Hey, we're talking about multiple years of getting money, not just he got lucky and got a nice year. No, open society. We have been funding. Technically, the CIA is using these organizations to wage war perpetually against Russia, which is really what's been happening.
and domestically.
Domestically too. Yeah. I mean, we are seeing, in fact, there should be arrests. There should be imminent arrests that the FBI is planning on what you would call the deep state patriots. In
Facts. I agree with you. I'm 100% behind you.
I really do believe we have to have show trial arrests in the same way that they tried to tear down the fabric of this country by essentially sabotaging Donald Trump and even trying to assassinate him. So if you don't think that this is a war, for survival, it is a war for survival. It is a war, for really the future destiny of America, because they really tried to subvert the will of the people. And I can't believe that Trump even won. I kept thinking, Don and I did an expose and research into the Dominion voting systems. And
oh, yeah, when we try to be pollsters.
Yeah. And, we really analyzed the training, the platform, because I thoroughly believe that they were.
Dude, card A goes to the slot B and then connects to this thing in order to be able to connect to this tower. Like, bro, yeah, that was like 2022 when that was the election for 2022.
Yeah. So we've been analyzing and working on this essentially political movement for a while. And the fact of the matter is, I thought for sure that they would be able to cheat, and we would have been in a Supreme Court battle for a national voter recount and maybe a second election to determine the true winner, because there's no credibility and trust in George Soros and Alex Soros's Dominion voting system. So yeah, and anyways, and you see all these memes now about, Elon Musk and billionaires and politicians, and then you see Alex Soros with every single politician. And so billionaires are intricately involved in the political process in this country because they get such huge payouts from the government. It's the source of ultimate profit, because you have no cost of goods. You have no administrative expenses. The government and the Federal Reserve, your Congress and your Federal Reserve, just print up trillions of dollars and pass it out. It's pure profit. And it's just future debt for American people. And at 40 trillion, we are 100 years into a debt slavery super cycle of now having to work for probably 6 generations, 7 generations or more to pay off how much we have spent on bullshit COVID-19 and bullshit 9/11 wars and bullshit Medicare, Medicaid, and bullshit Social Security fraud.
Well, the thing that really fucks my brain up is like when I got out of the military and it was 2011, our national debt was $12 trillion. And it took us 200 and some years to get to 12 trillion. But since 2011 to now, what's that? 14 years? We've tripled our deficit in 14 years.
Well,
and it took us 200 years to get there in 2011. But in the last 14 years, we've tripled our dependency on the world.
So, Don, the year you're talking about, let's say 2011, what percentage of the national debt was being paid, was attributed to interest payments? Is that the right way to put it? As compared
on the deficit to the world?
Debt that's political.
No, I'm asking. You're asking about the interest payment on the 12 trillion to the world of our deficit.
The interest on paying off the debt to whoever is owed to.
Well, I mean, like interest on $1 million is 45,000, and $1 billion is 1,000 million. So add 3 zeros to 45,000. That'd be 450 or 45 million. It'd be 45 million. And then you do that, there's a 1,000 billions and a trillion. So you add 3 more to that 445 million, and then you add 3 more zeros, so it'd be 450 billion would be our interest payment on $12 trillion at that point.
But my question is the percentage. So I believe I read somewhere that every
6%. I go with 6%. I go with 6% as an average.
6% is the percent to pay off the debt. I think that's larger. But every American, I believe, owes $120,000. If that's the
I don't know shit.
So what I'm trying to derive here, when will the interest payments on the national debt reach some astronomical figure like?
It's already astronomical. Shlomo,
Where's the breaking point?
Shlomo, it's almost
the deficit.
Shlomo, it's almost $100 billion a month already.
We're close. We're 89 seconds to midnight right now, bro.
Shlomo, the country is working its ass off, and every year, half of what the IRS takes goes straight to interest payments. We're in a debt slavery super cycle. The American population is already oppressed and completely indebted. And these deep state patriot schmuckos on this app don't give a fuck about it. Because they're communists, and that's what communists do. They believe in printing till debt implosion.
They're so myopic is the word.
Well, it's very
don't realize that
1984. It's very 1985. What 1984? Like 2 + 2 = 5 kind of bullshit is what it is.
So they're saying, I don't care as long as we fund all these stupid things in other countries that Musk is uncovering. I don't give a damn if my grandchildren, great-grandchildren, their great-grandchildren will be paying this for centuries. I don't give a damn about the future and what they're going to look back and say, my ancestors were pretty dumb fucking people.
Well, I mean, if that's the way you feel, that's the way you feel. Now, I think like American politics and geopolitics are much more important, you know, in 2025 than they've been in the last decade, because there's so much turmoil going on within the world. Israel, Gaza, you know, Ukraine, Russia. I'm not even going to tell you about where we're at in the rest of the world because I'd be declassifying shit. But the thing is like, you know, we're in a level of like, you know, turmoil where we have the ability to understand one another and we can like stop the chaos. But the problem is like nobody wants to stop the chaos because people thrive on the chaos because they can milk the system. But when you take the chaos out of it, like, you know, the devil speaks, you know, confusion into a sentence. You know, but when you have like complete coherency within the understanding, you know, you put God first. And the problem is people want to put the confusion in because they want to be the devil. And I think that's where we're at within the mix of this world, you know, in today's generation.
So, this has been deep within. And I say go within, you know, because the deeper you go within, it's technically like the farther you're going out in a way. But deep within is really stability in the center of the circle. And you know, if you're wound up really tight and you want a virtue signal and be that amazingly ultra truistic, I don't even know if that's a word, but I'm just trying to say that there are beta cucks.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, there are beta cucks trying to present themselves as highly educated and intelligent alpha males with a patriotic. Anyways, I'm just saying.
Yeah, but they've never done shit, but they just want to boast about shit they've never done.
anyways, we can go back to this app, but I think we've like thoroughly confirmed that every room on this app is essentially dumb, low IQ people talking about nothing, wasting time.
Dude, I've been talking a lot, so I know I'm way away from the truth at this point.
Yeah, that's the way I view it. Is like I spend a lot of time meditating while people are on this app just running their mouths, and it's just such a nice place to be when you can essentially put the genie back in the bottle and be unaffected by people's
that's
communication
the point of
transmission.
knowing the truth, is being able to put the genie back in the bottle. Because if you don't know the truth, then you'll never be able to do it.
Yeah. And, I want to help people like Jazzy, but unfortunately, as time has shown, no matter how much we read books into this app, no one listens, and people end up having mental health breakdowns and screaming, ISIS, Hamas, jihad, and murderous
Dude,
threats.
She was literally just talking about my dead sons again today.
Yeah. People are
Like,
sick.
You get butthurt so the point that you feel like you got to go to that level of hatred.
Yeah.
To me, it's not. It's mood. It's definitely mood.
Yeah. That's why I say, like, recording people takes a lot of the personal attacks out of the equation, because what you're really doing is you're capturing people and putting them in the bottle. And that's what people really don't like about individuals who record other people on this app, because it's like the original Native American complaint that you're going to capture my essence, and people want to own and have the rights to their essence, and they don't want other people capturing
it.
it.
Picture, you'll steal my soul.
Exactly. And if you record a schmuck on Clubhouse and you put a schmuck in a bottle, you might actually figure out that person is a schmuck, and they don't like knowing that they're a schmuck. And when they listen to themselves being a schmuck,
women. Accountability in women are an obvious go-to.
Yeah. A lot of women also don't like to be surreptitiously recorded, because then other men that they're seeing, the men can essentially figure out very quickly that she is nothing but a call girl or an escort and not actually a good woman. And she's running games with a lot of men. It's like technically a lot of the men on this app that are running games with other men and other women.
Dude, but they're not men. They act like they were raised by single moms.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm thankful that my father is who my father is.
That's literally a dynamic that I hold wholeheartedly. I was raised by a single mom, but I got adopted when I was, my mom married when I was 13. My biological dad went shit. And then, when I was 14, my adopted dad gave me his last name. My name changed. He adopted me. He was the combat medic. He was the nurse. He's the one that I emulated in my life after he died when I was 17. But but for those years, man, you know how influential it was for me to have a dad, through those 14, 15, 16, and then shortly thereafter 17.
Yeah, I mean, the friendship and the love of a father is invaluable to the development of all men. I mean, without it, it's very difficult to obtain that level of warmth and, friendliness.
And hatefulness that your mother could never show you.
Yeah.
Because women can't raise men to be men. Only men can raise men to be men.
Yeah, I'd agree. Zenimini, welcome.
Yes.
Wanted to respond to what Edmund was saying. Yeah, dude, it's so much fun. That sort of trapping that genie in a bottle. And especially when you record someone, it's amazing. It's such a great it's like a high. It's better than a high, the marijuana high. It's just.
It really takes the burden off of you as a listener to have to absorb somebody else's anxiety and bad takes, because you're really creating a product out of that person's comments, and it's not affecting you personally, so you don't carry it with you. It's a nice way to deal with irascibility and over communication and lack of actual high value information. So Zach, he put it a nice way to me one time. He said, "You want me to bootleg Clubhouse with you?" And I was like, "Bootleg?" I was like, "I guess it is bootlegging." You know, it's bottling technically.
Well, dude, that makes me want to bring out my moonshine still.
Bootlegger's Alley.
I mean, imagine if you had an Instagram
And a
account.
copper hat with a coil.
Imagine if you had an Instagram account, a YouTube account of Jazzy screaming for a collective amount of like 4 hours. If we were to like break it all down, and then she was able to listen to herself just screaming for 4 hours, like how would that change her attitude?
Well, the thing is, like, you know, the reality is, you know, Alan, is Jazzy at this point has turned into Millie Vibes.
I still follow Millie on Instagram.
Oh, Milwaukee?
Millie Vibes.
No, Milwaukee is her name on here.
Oh, I don't know.
Oh, I saw her last night when I signed on.
So when do you want to start reading books again? I really enjoyed that room when we were reading some good books.
As long as it's not Alan Watts, because I'm tired of that motherfucker.
Oh, Dude is here. Dude is wound up very tight. He's a deep state patriot for sure. But he needs to go deeper because, dude, I got to tell you, the way you talk to people, the way you sound, it is so off-putting. You must have a challenging life with communication.
Dude has been a jerk to me for no reason, I think.
Dude, if you worked
A lot
at
of people like doing that. A lot of people like doing that. Like, you know, like you can make a
target.
Well, dude, Zach, you and John and I could easily have. Sorry, there's a jet flying over my house. It's an A-10 Thunderbolt. I live underneath the military base. But anyhow, like, dude, we've all been talking, and we understand moot points. The more we talk, the further away from the truth we get. There's another A-10. Jesus Lord, just another boss.
Dude, why don't you come up and say something and use your man voice and be a real man instead of living in the chat? I mean, if you're a strong person, why don't you come up and say something?
Hey, Alan, let me ask you an honest question. I've known you on this app for a long half, right? Yes? No?
Yes.
Alan.
He posted 100, which means affirmative.
Yeah, well, I prefer his voice when I'm asking a question with my voice.
Well, I prefer Solid Goat Dynasty.
Well, it sounds like you need like some Earl Grey and fucking some milk in your fucking tea packet. No, I mean what you're smoking.
I'm drinking coffee over here. Listen, let's skip the questions and just get straight to answers and experimentation. Dude down there who proclaims to be an enlightened Buddhist, he is totally irascible,
Oh, Jesus, Lord, Mary, Joseph.
totally full of anger, and so off-putting. I don't even know how you communicate to people peace and joy with the way that you talk, dude. Dude needs a lot of rectification still, dude.
Dude, you're an idiot if you think you're going to come in here and talk about Buddha over, you know, sheesh.
I mean, I'll tell you, dude, all those people.
Hey, I'm just going to sit down and think about it.
What I'm saying is the dude down there needs to read Dhammapada to the people in the deep state room because they do not have the disposition or the knowledge. I mean, they're incompetent, dude. And if I'm telling you, dude, you should come up here and say something because I recorded you in the deep state Patriot room today and I dedicated a 3-minute short to you talking. And if you want to hear the playback of you talking, we can break down how you talk, what you say, and help you fix yourself. Because in my opinion, dude, you are in need of rectification, dude.
You know, dude is the hair on the elephant's butt, right?
Your life is in your hands, dude.
Okay, I mean, dude doesn't have the courage, the strength to rise up and actually voice his opinion and say, okay, you're right. Maybe I am a little aggressive, a little neurotic, a little obnoxious, but I don't think he has the courage. And courage is always the big word in life. Courage, dude. Okay, so we're going to do a very quick and brief reanalysis of the Deep State Patriot rooms today. The name of this video is Dr. James versus Dr. Scott. Here we go.
And this is not like me double down on their delusions. Why double down on their delusions? This is what I've been to bat for. One mic at a time. Wait, when you track most Black Protestants, they believe the same thing as white evangelicals and vote for liberal Democrats. So I don't think the fact that someone believes in a literal end times with a antichrist would fix it. So I'm talking about people. Okay, listen. Just let me just say this one last piece. I'm talking about folks who believe they're being persecuted. I'm talking about people who believe they're being persecuted. So take white out of the equation. Just call it Christian evangelicals who take a kind of more literal view of Scripture, who believe they're being persecuted for their religion. Maybe that's helpful for me to be that specific. But that population is probably much smaller than your rhetoric points towards. And this is why I've been coming up here, and every time I hear shit like this, I'm like, this is trying to put all people in a box. And I didn't say all Christians in a box. I didn't say the Bible literally. And what Scott has just explained to you is that is not true. Listen, I have almost as much religious education as Scott, except I don't write it, on my Your opinion is right and his is wrong. I'm not saying he's wrong. I'm saying I disagree. Okay, I mean, you call yourself. All right. Let me get in there. I want to give my Native American right.
Anyways, dude, what I'm trying to tell you is like every room on this app, and Zenamini here has confirmed it, that it's technically, the subtitle is called How to Waste Time. Low IQ dumb people talking about nothing. Can anyone tell me what the fuck dude, James, and Dr. Scott even just were talking about? I mean, it's not a complex topic. Could you maybe sum it up in one fucking sentence? Anyone?
Do any of us care what we're talking about?
No. I mean, it's stupid. It's low IQ information transmission about nothing. Nothing. Like, what was just arguing about how black evangelicals vote Republican or is that really a morning AM meditational topic of high value information transmission? No. Every room on here is stupid. Low IQ. Waste of time.
Again, do any of us care about what we're talking about, or are we just talking, and getting further away from the truth? I mean, come on, dude. You said you want to be a Buddhist, let's talk about getting further away from the truth. The more you talk with your chattyisms. Does that even work?
Well, I have spent the past week reading the Tao Te Ching, the Dhammapada, as well as other books. But, the Dhammapada and the Tao Te Ching, really the Dhammapada is such an incredible document on intelligence. And, I guess I could read one verse from the Dhammapada this morning, as opposed to just recording people, exhibiting their own stupidity and mental health crises.
Dude, Alan, I got a fucking idea. It's very dark.
Deep within?
It has to do with the Lady Hawk.
Don't remind me about bills I have to pay. I'm trying to essentially be a Buddhist magician where if I don't think about my bills, they don't have to get paid.
Dude, I gave you enough money for some Chipotle. Shit. Come on, man.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I already did. No, I want to... You know what a spinnaker sale is? Like, you have your jib and your Genoa on Lady Hawk, and you know what a spinnaker is on that boat?
Yeah.
It's that big sail that looks like a parachute kind of looking thing.
Mm-hmm.
I want to get one that says like John Kitover, for whatever the hell you're running for, and have a stalemate of that. We'll just go fucking sailing around all over the fucking, Great Lake.
Well, find yourself a dog.
We'll get,
Find yourself a dog sitter and fly up here.
no, dude, somebody's already tried to give me, $1,000 for her, so I'm thinking about it.
Well,
Because
this
she's
is the
ready-
last
she's ready
summer.
for- She's ready for breeding. She's only 5 years old.
The only problem with my boat is I never registered it with the state of Illinois, and I won't have insurance on it. So if we do take it out, we could get busted by,
I would have that fixed in like 5 seconds. I'm a fixer.
we could survive, a police raid of the boat. I'm just saying that there's
I guarantee
ramifications.
you, I would have you legal with a spinnaker that says Kitover for Senate District blah blah blah, and like we would just walk that bitch up and down, the coast near the beaches, on the Great Lakes.
Mhm.
In the right time, and when you got that full sail, people will take pictures of that bitch and like, who the fuck is that guy?
I think we should
And you know
turn.
what?
I think we should turn the Lady Hawk technically
Dude,
into
that-
Sea Org and find a bunch of hot hippies that like to use hula hoops.
Deduction, man. If
Deduction.
you turn that thing into
Deduction
a
against
circuit,
what
that's
income?
naked, right off of the deduction,
A
bro.
deduction against what income? I'm a little confused here.
Well, I mean,
I have to have
I
a
know
job
what you got
to have
going- I
that
know what you
income.
got going on in like the present future. but,
Listen, if
I mean,
I win this
there's a
congressional seat,
future that we can figure out.
if I win this congressional seat, I will still have to declare bankruptcy. It'll be the biggest surprise to voters. They'll say, "What? We just elected this guy and he's bankrupt now."
Well, at least you know he's not corrupt. Every penny he gets from this point on is like, accounted for.
I'm actually gonna attack the judge that has essentially debanked me. He will be part of my campaign for this congressional seat, and I will look up the statutes of the state of Illinois law and try to change the law.
You gotta get that influence, though, man. The influence is where it's at.
It's true.
Yeah, dude, you gotta find the money people.
It's true. I need to
I
create
know the
great
money
content, and I need to
My
find
mom
money
showed me
people that
money
can help me buy ads. That's the whole thing. Is I have to be the marketing manager and utilize supporters' money to buy advertising so I can defeat this guy. The only way to really do it is to essentially, like you said, become an influencer and become that nexus for the disaffected American voter that feels
Dude,
like they've been getting
What
fucked.
if I got you, Theo Vaughn, and you and me on the sailboat with a Trump, not a Trump sail, but make it look like Trump, but it says John Kitover, Senate District, blah, blah, blah. I don't even know what fucking district you're talking about. But the point is, like, you throw a mainsail, you got Theo Vaughn and you and me doing a podcast live with Elon Musk's Starlink, off the boat, and like, live casting us just like, listen to the fucking, Jimmy Buffett drinking margaritas and, shooting the shit, and like trying to figure out what's wrong with America.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
I guarantee you that shit would go viral as fuck. And
Yeah.
I bet you can get Theo Vaughn for less than like, I know I can get Theo for like $5,000.
That's true. It would be.
No, I can. Like, a lot of the people that don't know his group of people, they can't. But I know his people like that. So, like, literally to put you, me, and him on your sailboat, Lady Hawk, and like sailing around, like off the coast of the beaches with like, your name on the fucking front mainsail. And we'll hire a deckhand to run the shit while we're sitting around doing the podcast, so we don't have to worry about it, but they'll run that shit and keep the tiller right. And like, we could just sit there and have a normal conversation, drinking margaritas and listening to Jimmy Buffett and saying, what the fuck is wrong with America?
Well, see, the problem is I have found that in creating all of this communication over the past couple of years, the compression of a 15-second video is really what works because everybody tunes out after 11 seconds. So,
Yeah, well, I mean, like the TikTok children, yeah.
Yeah.
Or I mean, and then I called them before that. I called them PlayStation children because
Yeah.
they was the ones that learned how to talk dumb shit to each other, and then went to school and did the same thing. You know, like because they transcended their PlayStation VR life into like their school, and that's why they grew up the way they are.
Mhm.
Because they're all afraid because it's like certain people are like, oh, this is motherfucker man, and like and like the guy that doesn't know how to play the game, it's like, okay, you are the man. But we have a lot of different kinds of Americans, and you got to be able to like represent all of them.
No, I need to represent the Republican voters in my district and bring over disaffected Democrats that hate their Democrat communist leadership even more than a rhino Republican.
Well, what do you have to give me? You have to give me if you're gonna tell me to like figure out how to like backboard with you. You'd have to tell me like what is the most hateful thing that you recognize every day in your life in your city that bothers you. The thing that bothers you the most.
Oh, it's the fact that communists are pulling down $500,000 salaries, lying, cheating, stealing every way they possibly can, claiming they're educating children.
I'm not talking about finances. I'm talking about like in your physicality. Like what in your physicality is the thing that bothers you most? Damn, I only got 3 beers. Jeez Louise. Order some more.
This room does have a hard out, as I will be going to the gym and working out this afternoon.
Yeah, well, you need to take care of that gout.
It's true. I feel it in my foot all the time.
What? You want to smoke one? Why not? What's going on, man? You doing all right? You getting off work? An hour break? Well, I'll smoke one to the poor one. We'll come in and put it in the fridge, and it'll stay good. And then we'll smoke one, and you can take it to the house, and you go back to work. What's up, William?